Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Next Level Technical. So I'll be talking about AAA, which actually stands for Authentication, Authorization, and Accounting. So what is AAA? AAA, in brief definition, it is a framework for admission, control, and tracking access to network resources. So basically, why do we need AAA in our business? Let me give a scenario where you have just like ten router in your network, and as an administrator, you want to change the login details, that's username and password of those routers and switches. It is a lot easier to do so because there are just like 10 devices in your network. And at the event where you have like 50 routers or 100 routers and you want to change those login details, that means you have to log in every one of those routers to change the username and password, and then be putting login local on the line VTY, which actually is going to be tedious. Or assuming you have a new administrator team joining you, a member joining the team, so you have to log in up to about 50 or above routers to just to change username, which is a lot of time and it's also tedious. So AA triple A is one of those facilities that you can use to configure access for those remote devices. So there are basically two popular popular options for AAA. One is Radius and the other is TACAS. And Radius actually stands for Remote Authentication Dial-In User Service, and TACAS for Terminal Access Control System. Um, Radius is open standard. What that means is that it can be used across different vendors, maybe MikroTik, Cisco, Juniper, or any other devices. While TACAS is Cisco proprietary for the now. So there's a point I want us to note. Radius uses UDP. Meanwhile, prior to ITF intervention, there were some unofficial ports that were used. So those unofficial ports were 1645 of 1645 for authentication and 1646 for accounting. So you might likely find this in some production environment where older devices are used. While the that's those are the unofficial port numbers used along with UDP. While the official port number that is not being adopted by IANA is 1812. That's 1812 for authentication, 1813 for accounting. So you can actually check out RFC 2865 and RFC 2866 for more information about various port number. While TACAS use TCP port 49. So without any further delay, I'll be talking about basically about the implementation and configuration of radios and TACAs in our branch in the branch offices. So on the screen here is the network design that I'm using, just a simulation. Assuming your head office is in a place like Abuja, or and a branch office are in Lagos and Enugu, or your head office is somewhere overseas, maybe in UK, and then the branch offices are in Ghana and another in Nigeria. So far, on the underlying requirement is that the server should be reachable. So, without any further delay, I want to go into the configuration proper. But for theory, for detail, information, I advise that you read more about AAA online. Also, AAA can be used for billing purpose. So, without any further delay, I would like to log into this router and check what we have here. So, at the HQ, I will need to verify the existing configuration. What I did on this configuration is that I configured an internal routing protocol using that is EIGRP to be precise, to enable reachability to all the connected interface. So I will do show IP interface brief. So on this ETA E1/1 is the one facing the cloud to which every other branches are connected. And the ETA 1/1 has a one IP of this, while the particular link to the server, which is E1/0, does not have IP. So I will go straight to that interface and assign an IP to it. Interface E1/0 IP address 192.168.10.1 with a subnet mask 255. Since it's just a single device, I'm going to make it 252/30 IP address, and then unshort the interface. So that is that for that. And then let me see if I can reach this particular interface from this branch. Let me show IP route. The network IP is there. I'm actually using EIGROP. As you can see, I did a redistribution of connected routes, and the distance for external route is 170. So and this IP I just use a loopback IP for each router. This one is 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2 for this, and the connected, which is this router 10.0.0.3. Show IP interface brief excluding down. Show IP interface brief excluding down. That's the loopback IP, which is showing connected 10.0.0.3. So that is that for this. So basically, I'm running show run session EIGROP. I'm actually running EIGROP in this router, and the same goes with the other router. And I did a redistribution of connected routes because I want those connected routes to be reachable. So that is the route. Those are the IPs running. And then um, for this TACAS, this is actually a Docker container for GNS3 for lab simulation. If you want to know more about it, I highly recommend David Bombay to go and check his YouTube videos. So I will want to assign IP on this. You can actually assign IP via the command line, the CLI. This does slash nano forward slash network slash interface. You can assign an IP here, but I don't really want to go through this route. So I will assign via this place. I come to edit config, and then on check these hashtags for the interface I want to use, and then the IP here 10.1, which is the gateway sitting on the router interface, 252 the subnet mask, and 10.10.2, which is the interface IP for this particular server. So I will have to shut it down and then start it up again for that IP to take effect. So this particular Docker container, if you come to configure, you check the usage, you'll notice the server kind of that was configured for it. For Radius, you use Alice as username, Bob as username. For TACAC, you use JNS as username. And the TACAC has a full right, which is admin right, and then the read only right. And then for both this username for TACAC and Radius, the password is GNS3. So we now go straight to confirm the reachability. Let me check if this IP have took. So I'll go to write if config just to see. Okay, it is there. Let me ping the gateway 192.168.10.1. Okay, reachability is confirmed. Let me confirm from the branch router ping 192.168.10.2. Reachability is confirmed. So now I'll go to the configuration. This AAA actually for securing router is a topic under security. So first and foremost, I have to define the secrets, enable secrets. You can actually use enable password, but secret is known to be very secure. I use enable secret 1, 2, 3, 4. Never use 1, 2, 3, 4 in production environment. This is in lab environment. And I say username, and I'm giving the highest privilege. Username admin, username admin. I'm giving it the highest privilege, 15. I'm going to use password here. I'll now say 1, 2, 3, 4, the same 3, 4. Never use 1, 2, 3, 4 in your production environment. I'll click enter on that. I've not started anything with what we call it triple eight yet. I'm just trying to secure the router. And the next, because I want to use SSH, I will have to create IP domain name. This IP domain name, I'll give it BROA dot, or let me just say lab dot lab dot local. I'll now say I have to create keys, SSH keys. For SSH keys, crypto key generate RSA modulus. Never use anything below. If I'm to use 020, let me say 2048. 2048. Let me just quickly confirm. I've forgotten the number below it. 2048 1024. So anything below this value 2024 should not be used. Should not be used. 2048 and above is at least acceptable in today's world security. Go to create generate, it is creating a key for me. When the key has been created, let me wait for it. It's actually large. So I will opt the SSH, IPSSH version, make it 2. After doing that, I'll have to remember I've created the username. I would have liked to do service service password encryption, but I don't want to do that now. The reason why I don't want to do that now is because I want to be checking the password. Because if you do show run session um, session users or user, because of the user the username, you see I can actually easily see the password written. But it is encouraged that you should use service password encryption, which is service password encryption. This should be encrypted, and I will not see this password any longer. But I don't want to do that now. So then the next I will not do. I want to quickly show you something. When you go to line VTY 0 to 4 and you do login, you notice you can do login local. This actually refers to the username I've created this in the in the router in the global mode. However, I'm working on triple A. I will have to enable AA for new device, new model to activate triple A in this router. And the next is for me to define, because this particular HQ, I would prefer to use radius for it. For this, I'll use TACAC and I'll use radius here. So I will do radius. I'll say server. So the name of the server I want to use is ROSV radius server, and I'll enter. I will define address, and then there's no harm in using question mark. The address family we have two options, IPv4 and IPv6. So I'm using IPv4, and then IPv4. The address of the radius server is going to be 192.168.10.2. And then if I do another option, and I just want to show you, but you can actually, I can just say authentication port, but so that you see the options. I'll see authentication ports number. Authentication port is 1812, and then the accounting port is 1813. These are the official port number from IANA that I spoke about earlier on. But if you're in an environment where the previous or unofficial port numbers are used, you apply them here. So I'll now click enter. The next I need to do is to define the key. I'll now say key is going to be GNS. My key, my key is going to be GNS. The key is this particular, for me to have access to this device. The key is GNS3. Key is GNS3. So the key, I'll write GNS3. I'll press enter. I'll exit. Radio server has been created. Now I need to create the group. I'll now say AA group, and then the server name, the server that I'm to use. I'm actually using Radius, and then the server name is going to be S server ROSVGR radio server group. Any other option? No. Then the server name, radio server that I created earlier on, the server name. I have to look for that server ROSVR radio server. I will specify it here. Any other thing, I press enter. That is all. So the next, I'll come to here, almost the finishing line. AA authentication. Under authentication, what am I using it for? Let me come to authentication. Actually, you can use this authentication for .s, for .s, and then for PPP. That is point to point protocols. You understand? In MicroTik, you see this PPP there, and but in this case, what I'm interested in is login. And then I'll say login. So I have two options here, either to go by default or to specify word. What default or word, in a sense, when I want to apply it on like VTY, is it that I want to use a certain word or I want to use a default? So let me use my own word. I'll use default in another VTY 0/4. I'll now that is the word. I'll now specify group. The group that I created, I can actually use the default, but I created a group earlier on. So I actually love to create this group. And the group I created on was ROSVG. I will apply. Be very careful when you are doing this, otherwise you get yourself locked out. And then what else do I have here? Local. I have to specify local. Why am I specifying local? In the case where this server is not reachable, it should revert back to the local, to the default username that I created in the router. What else do I have here? I think for now I'm good to go. I'll just click enter. So I'll now go to line VTY 0 to 4. I'll define the transport method. I'll define the transport input, I don't want to use all. I'm only interested in using SSH and Telnet. But in your production environment, just within your network, you can use Telnet. But if you are going through a tunnel or somewhere outside within your network, it is advisable you use SSH because that is more secure. So I say transport, and I say login. You understand? And now I have now have authentication. Earlier on, before I activated a new model, what I have was login local. Let me see if I can still see that. I actually showed you earlier on. Let me check. Actually have login. Look at it. Login. The option I had then was login local, but now it has changed. So I'm going to use login authentication and in reference to the word that I created earlier on. This guy here, because I'm using word, it's asking me which option do I want to use. If I use authentication, I say word or default. So this is the word I created, and I say okay. Basically, I have done with what do we call it, with activating triple A here. So let me do show run session triple A and then session videos. So don't really want to waste more time. I'll just copy all this and use a text editor and modify a few things. But here I said I'll be doing TACAC here. I don't know if I still have time. Okay, I'll be doing TACAC on this particular session. So meanwhile, let me just quickly rush to it. Configure T, AA, new AA, new model, and then I would then say TACAC server. And the server name I want to use is T server TSV arrow. I press enter. So I have to specify the key GNS 3 and then the address. Here you just need to specify only the IPv4 and then the address I'm pointing to is 192.168.10.2. That is all. I exit. They have to create AA group, AA group, um, the server. I'm interested here in TACACs, and then the group name for TACACs is TSVGRO, TACACs server group. Press enter. Then I'll now specify the server name I initially created, which is where's the server name I earlier created? TSVRO. Here, coming server name TSVRO. I press enter and exit. That is what I need to do here. And also AAA authentication. I'm interested in login. What else? I'm going to use the same word VTY slash 04 VTY slash 04 and then um, the group the group name I created earlier on. What is that group name? This is the group name TSVGRO. How to specify local. I can actually stop here, but what happens if there's no access to the server? That means you'll be locked out. So you have to specify local so that you can revert to the local username and password. I press enter. And then I'll go to line VTY not yet. I have to create IP domain name ERA dot local uh, crypto key gen to key generate RSA modulus 2048. Let it export, let it generate quickly. I will opt SSH IP SSH version 2, and then I have to create. I forgot, very very important. Always create user local name. First and foremost, I will say enable because I know I specify local. Enable secret 1 2 3 4. Secret is better. User name is admin, and the password. Let me just keep privilege. Password is 1 2 3 4. Password is 1 2 3 4. That is that, and then I'll go to line VTY 0 to 4, and then which transport do I want to use? I want to use SS transport input, SSH internet, and I say login authentication. Login authentication, the one I specified within this. This is the login authentication. I'm using Word. It's asking for login authentication. What type? I'm using Word. I'll use default with Radio Server here, and I'll say enter. So basically, I'm done with these two. I'm done with these two. All right. So right now, I'll come to this. Remember, I copied some information. I'm using radius, but this time default. So um, some of this information I'll make use of, but there's no need. Let me just do it afresh as well. And I'll say config T, and then let me activate AA new model. Meanwhile, before even activating a new model, ensure you create a username. Very important. Username admin, and then a password. Let me use privilege here. Privilege 15, and the password is 1 2 3 4. Password is 1 2 3 4, and then what else here? IP domain name BRA dot local. I will opt the SSH version 2, and then okay, crypto key generate crypto key generate RSA modulus 2048, and then opt the SSH again. So SSH has been opted. Then what else do I need? So I'll now define the. Now I'm using radio server here, but I'm not going to use. On that other line, use line VTY 0 to 4. I was using login authentication VTY 0 to 4. I'm not going to do that anymore. The login authentication I want to focus on now is going to be default. This is what is different from here. You see the same radius, but I was using Word. I'm going to use default here now. It's just still the same. It is the same result, different approach. So I'll now say AA radius. Sorry, radius server, and then the server name I'm going to create is SVRO, and then I'll specify the key. Keys GNS, keys GNS 3. Yes, because if anything goes wrong here, you will not have access. Address family IPv 4. What else do I need here? And the address of the server 192.168.10.2, and then the authentication port is 1812. Accounting port is 1813. That is done here. I have to go to AA and create group. AA and create group. I have to go to AA and create group. My bad, sorry. I have to go to AAA and create a group. Go to AA and create group, and now say server, and then I'm using radius. And then the server name is SVGRO server group. That is the short name I prefer to use. Server group. Say okay. Then the server that are earlier created. Server name earlier created was SVRO. But let me look for it. I like to copy it to avoid mistake. SVRO and I press enter. Then I think that's that. So I'll now come to AA. Here is where I'm doing that. What is actually different from the other parts. I was just specifying word, and I'm interested in logging. If you come to this place, I'm no longer going to use word. Word in a sense VTY 0/4. So I'll just specify default here. I'll specify default here. I'll specify the group that are created. The group that are created is SVGRO. And then I specify local, so that if this server is not reachable, it should revert to the local. We are going to confirm all that. And then what else do I need to enable here? I will say, I'll just press enter. That's all. I'll now go to line VTY 0 to 4. And then I'll say transport input. I'm interested in SSH. Transport input. Interested in SSH and telnet only. I'll now say login authentication. This time around, I did not specify what I'm going to use default. I'll now say default. I press enter. I think that is all. And then and let me just now let's go for confirmation if these things I did are working. Remember, remember, let me just quickly show you run session user. Remember the user that are configured is admin and the password is 1234. The radio server is here. This is the branch. This is branch. And I want to log in to from branch A. I want to log into this guy here. I want to log into that guy there. So if I say show run session host users, sorry, I've not configured user in this group. Show run session username. So actually configure username is admin privilege 15 and so on and so forth. Let me confirm the same thing here. Show run session user name, username, password, this. So basically this has been done. So I want to log in to this place via here. First and foremost, I'll use the telnet protocol. Telnet. First and foremost, let me show you. I know the interface IP. I created a loopback IP. Show IP interface brief. The loopback IP here is 10.0.0.1. Show IP interface brief. 10.0.0.2. That's the loopback interface. Show IP interface brief. The loopback is 10.0.0.0.3. I want to log into 10.0.0.2. 10.0.0.0.2. You can actually do that, but let me just say telnet 10.0.0.0.2. So I'm trying to log in. So remember, this guy I configured with TACAC, and the TACAC, that thing has timers actually. The TACAC is GNS3 and the password is GNS3. So I'll specify GNS3 and the password is also GNS3. You see, I'm in branch A. I will say enable. The secret that I created is 1234. Right now, from branch B, I'm in branch A. So if I say show users, this is me currently in this router. If I come to this branch A, let me see who is logging to this router there. Telnet, show users. this show users. So someone is connected via this IP address, and the location is this, and that is the user. The password is GNS3. So show show line as well, and I'm using line 2. So since I'm actually the net from here, I want to I'm actually in this branch, so I would like to clear this line. Let me clear line clear line VTY clear line VTY to confirm. It will log me out of this place. I'm supposed to be logged out. Okay. Show line VTY, show line VTY, show line so clear line clear line clear line 2. Yeah. I mean clear line 2, let me confirm that I should be logged out of this. So basically I have logged out because I logged in, I cleared the line from the because I'm logging through console here. This is the console through Telnet anyway, and then I've logged this guy out. So let me use SSH to log in this guy. Remember, this is TACAC, this is radius. So SSH, SSH, sorry, SSH, and then I'm going to specify the username. SSH. Let me see what is the username configured for TACAC. Okay, still the same GNS3. Okay, so I'll now say SSH GNS 3. That's the username. And what else? I'll specify the IP address 10.0.0.2, and the password is one. Oh, password is GNS3. After, okay, I'm in. Password is GNS3 and enable is going to happen for the secret as well. One, two, three, four. So currently from branch B, I'm in branch A. So let me log out. So let me just confirm. I'm back. I'm from branch A back to branch B. Let me confirm if I can log in to this guy. This guy is using Radius. This guy is using Radius. So and the password for Radius is Bob. The password for Radius is Bob. So let me log in from okay, let me from this head office to log in this branch. Let me say SSH, SSH, SSH L. I want to use Alice because this is radius, Alice, and then the IP, the loopback IP is dot 3, and then the password is GNS3. So I'm in. I'll say enable, say enable, enable, please. Okay, it's like I've not configured the secrets on this on branch B. Configure T, enable. I configure. Okay, the password actually. Okay, user name, admin, privilege, 15. Password is 1234, and then enable secrets is 1234. And I can't remember if I actually enabled the secret. So enable and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So good, I'm now in. From the head office, I'm actually in this branch B router. So let me just, I can actually confirm, show users. So someone is actually logging in this router from IP address 172.16.1, because if you go to this interface, I can actually confirm now because I'm inside this router. The interface IP here on this place is 16.10.1, and I'm logging with this username. So basically, I've successfully implemented triple A in these devices. So I'll be bringing more interesting content on YouTube. At the end, after watching this video, I highly, I indulge you to please subscribe, like, and share, so that I can get more view. People can get to know my page. So thank you for joining me, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.